Morning. I live on Spruce Tree Drive, or Sparendreef Spruce Drive. Just so happens there's a pine tree on our street. And as I walked by this morning, I saw that it had new growth. New growth often looks different. On this tree, it's two really light green, awkward looking, not the right color or placement, bits of new bit growing out the end. You probably know the story of the ugly duckling who grows up to be a great swan. And maybe you're familiar with farm animals, or you've had a baby and you know that they can't walk, they're wobbly, just like newly hatched birds usually can't fly. And you might think to yourself, it's a bird and it can't fly. That's no good. But that's how it is with new growth. That's how it is with new growth. And I wonder if you consider in your life new growth, change, things that are just starting this bud. A bud doesn't look much like a flower quite often. That's because new growth isn't developed. It's not there yet, but it's okay. We don't kick babies around because they can't walk or talk. And we can accept that horse that can't stand up. And we know that the plant's got to grow and mature and become fruitful. A fern, all tight and looks so different before it actually grows. Before you actually see it in all of its wonder, all spread out in its repetitiveness. And you think to yourself, okay, well, what's this have to do with me? Well, I want you to consider that in your life, or in your church, or in your children, or in your job, new growth, a new situation, a new development, it's almost never going to look like it's right. It's almost never going to be the way it's meant to be, because it doesn't start that way. It always starts awkward. In fact, it always starts pretty much not doing the very thing it was meant to do. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean that it's somehow unhealthy or not going to become what it's meant to be. It just means it's new growth. It stands out. It's awkward. It's different. When God does something new in your life, well, expect it not to look mature. Expect it to not function properly. Expect it to stand out, be awkward, be a bit ugly, non-functioning, not really doing the thing that you think it ought to be doing. So when you evaluate people and situations, and when you evaluate what's going on in your life, you've got to look with the right eyes. You've got to see the bigger perspective. You need to look at it the way God sees it, the way a parent sees it. And you've got to understand that new growth changes, and it becomes something different. It matures when given a chance. Not all new growth. Some new growth won't make it. Some new growth is not going to develop, and it might have to start all over again. But don't think because it's awkward, different, stands out, doesn't fulfill its function, that it's not on its way to. You need to evaluate things with eyes of faith, like a parent does with a child, like a teacher does with a student, like a farmer does with a plant or an animal. So I want to tell you, look at new growth. When you see it, rejoice. Don't start pruning straight away. Give it a chance. Wait. Nurture it. Have patience in your church, in your life, with your children, with your friends. New growth will develop into maturity. It just needs time. So, think about it.